Okay, so we just read the Grimm brothers story, The Singing Bone. You want to give a little summary and then we'll talk about it?
hmm Yeah, so in Kingdom, there was great fear over a wild boar that was killing many people and ravaging fields and such, and it was causing so much destruction. So its king promised a reward to anyone who would be able to kill it. Um, and finally, yeah, but it was such a large boar and terrifying that no one still tried to hunt the boar. So, and as a last reward, the king said that anyone who would kill it would be able to marry his only daughter. And there were two brothers from a poor family in the country, and both of them decided that they wanted to try killing the boar, but the elder brother only wanted to do it out of pride and personal interest, while the younger brother wanted to do it out of kindness, um, and I guess duty. So they both set out, but the king said that uh, one brother, what the elder one, was supposed to go to the west, and then the younger one to the east, um, to make sure that um, they can find the beast. Um, so the younger brother set off east, and along the way he met a little man, and the little man asked him, uh, well, to give him a spear and said that he can use the spear to kill the boar,
That's
and that
right,
he could
Black
tell
Spear.
his, and that he was able to tell his soul was pure and good, and that was why he was giving it to him. So the younger brother thanked the little man and told him that um yeah, he thanked him, and then he set off, and eventually he found the boar, and the boar was so ferocious and wild that it instantly charged towards him and ran into the spear, and the spear cut its heart into two. So he took the boar and made his way back to the village. And along the way, in the meantime, the elder brother, he figured that the boar wasn't going anywhere, so he just decided to go to a tavern and drink, hoping to have liquid courage to kill the boar. And the younger brother found him at the tavern, and he told him everything of the little man and how he killed the boar with the spear. But he didn't realize that his brother had a dark heart, and when the brother heard about this, he devised a plan. Um, so they were both making their way back to the kingdom, and the elder brother had the younger brother cross a bridge first. And when he was in the middle of the bridge, the younger brother struck him with a blow in the back of the head, and
Or
it
the older
instantly,
brother struck the younger brother, right?
yeah, the elder brother struck him at the back of the head and killed him instantly. And he then took the boar carcass and took it back to the king. And then, of course, when he took it back to the king, he um was able to marry the daughter. And when they asked why, what happened to his younger brother, he just said that the boar must have killed him. So years pass, and then under that bridge and body of water, there was a farmer, and he
Oh, a
saw
shepherd.
a shepherd, and he saw like a little bone sticking out um near the brook or whatever, and he thought it would make a good mouthpiece for his horn. So he took the little bone, and when he carved it into a mouthpiece, it started singing for him, and it said it was the bone of the younger brother, and he was saying, friend, you blew upon my bone, long have I lain beside the water. My brother slew me for the boar and took for his wife the king's young daughter. And the shepherd was astonished, and he took it to the king. And when the king heard the shepherd play the horn, it sang the same song, and he instantly understood what had happened. So he had the elder brother sewn up in a sack and drowned, and then the younger brother's remains were found um, after searching for the remains, and he had the bones put in a beautiful tomb in a church.
Yeah, in a churchyard. Yeah. Yeah. I was sort of reminded a little of the juniper tree here with like a malicious killing of a family member, suddenly an innocent family member, a good person, and then of course their body in some way cries out, sort of like the blood of Cain, which this excuse me, the blood of Abel after Cain kills him in the Bible. Uh, I think it said in the King James version at least that I had something like the blood of Abel cried out to the Lord, like from the ground, which I thought was very poetic and very, like infinitely sad too. But um, yeah, yeah. What did you think of this story?
Mm. Yeah, I was thinking of the biblical story too. Um, and yeah, I thought of the directions they were sent to. So just them being sent in opposite directions kind of represents that they took different paths in life. Um,
Yeah, maybe so, right?
yeah, yeah. So yeah, obviously the brother chose the bad side, and the younger the path of good.
Yeah. Well, the younger innocent brother, he had a path coming from the east. They were both
Mm,
supposed to meet in the middle, so maybe there's something about
mm,
how they're supposed to work together in some way and
mm,
eventually have some kind of union almost or something.
mm,
And I did wonder if, in a way, they're kind of aspects of the same person or something. You could wonder that.
mm.
Maybe there's something about
Yeah,
brother stories where they're like that. But anyway,
yeah.
the older brother never even starts to take the path. He's just outside of the woods in the tavern, just trying to drink himself
Mm,
to have enough nerve. He doesn't even
mm,
take a path.
mm,
But yeah, the younger brother, he kind of has like a little bit of a hero's journey where he goes off to the dark woods for a good cause to try to help the community. And he has a magical helper come who gives him something magical. Well, it's a black spear. It's a powerful weapon. And then yeah, the boar practically kills itself on the spear.
mm. Yeah, and it mentions the heart was split in two, so that I think that's also kind of another reminder of the different paths the brothers took.
Oh yeah, I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. And then, yeah, with the board, just like the older brother, you have two characters that are just out of control, ravaging others, killing others, who have no regard for others, and the opposite of the younger, simpler brother.
Hmm.
But I was hoping the younger, simpler brother would, go over that bridge and get his reward. But that bridge ends up being a threshold and a changing point in the story of a very different sort.
Yeah, it's like I wasn't expecting that because usually the sibling that does the right thing usually ends up still living and
Yeah, I thought he
getting
might
their just
become.
rewards.
Yeah, I thought he might
Mm,
end up getting reconstituted or something like that, like in the juniper tree, but he
mhm,
just gets honored. I mean, like many fallen soldiers or others, he gets the honor in death.
mm.
He gets the glory in death.
Yeah.
But still, he did the right thing for the community. I mean,
Mhm,
he did, his duty.
mm,
And yeah, the elder evil jealous brother is drowned in a sack.
mm.
Yeah, he's also
Yeah.
buried, but ignominiously and without, you know, without being honored.
Mhm. Yeah, and I thought of the shepherd with the horn too, because I think horns are mentioned in the Bible, right? Like like horns are like it's just kind of like proclaiming truth or something.
Oh,
Uh
okay.
or
Yeah.
something like something divine.
Hmm.
Um but I don't quite recall, but I remember horns being mentioned a lot.
Hmm.
Um
But yeah, it must be. I mean, this is the
yeah.
way that the shepherd finds out about what
Hmm.
happened, and then he goes and tells the leader about what happened. So
Hmm.
he goes to the high place, and then justice is ruled and then carried out, against the elder brother, and also the younger brother's bones are put to rest. He's
Hmm.
properly buried, and he can
Hmm.
be at full at rest.
Hmm. Yeah,
Also,
and
the shepherd, when he blows through the mouthpiece, it's
hmm.
a little bit like blowing the breath of life into it. The word spirit has etymologically is something like the air, breath, wind, something like that.
Hmm. Yeah, and they do mention it's a Snow White bone, so I guess once again emphasizing his purity.
Right, yes, yeah, that's right. Yeah, his purity of heart. One thing I wondered about the brothers being two aspects of the same person. I mean, so the younger brother's definitely moral and he's virtuous, but he doesn't have wisdom yet. And
Mm,
the older brother, he's not wise, but he does have some cunningness, which is kind of like an incomplete wisdom or prudence, a sort of, it is a use of intelligence that the younger brother seems to not possess. And
mm,
it's, maybe a tragedy of the story is that he does not live long enough to develop that.
mm,
And it maybe makes sense that it is his brother that prevents him from doing that. Someone closest to him prevents him from developing properly. And that might even be like a comment on that kind of thing happens when the land is being ravaged and when things are not working right. That would mean that people themselves often are not able to develop fully.
mm,
Presumably after justice and peace and prosperity are brought back to the land with the death of the boar and the death of the elder brother and the proper honoring of the younger brother. Uh, Presumably, maybe balance is brought back, and then people can develop properly. People can live long enough and have enough experiences and not be sort of stabbed in the back by like those around them or something,
mm,
uh, to where they can develop properly. Sorry, were you going to say something else?
mm,
Okay. But yeah, yeah, there is something about how they seem to be two aspects of the same person, or at least both of them are kind of incomplete. Although the
mm,
the the elder brother, he doesn't have much besides some kind of cunning. I think maybe Jordan Peterson would say something like he's kind of satanic or something like he
mm,
Peterson has said things about Satan maybe being associated with like the intellect without, only being used instrumentally without like other virtues. And that kind of makes sense. Satan has a lot of pride, or in this story, the evil character has envy and he has greed, and he wants glory, but he doesn't have courage. And yeah, yeah, the
yeah.
only time he really has initiative or something is to agree to try to hunt the boar, but he doesn't end up doing anything. And then when the thing get ends up getting done, he kills that person and takes the reward. The only initiative he has is to just like, yeah, kill his own brother, allow his brother to go ahead of him and then kill him. But that's being driven by greed and envy, especially probably envy. I would think if I could predict the story, if the younger brother had never made it out of the woods and the older brother had tried to drink himself into having enough nerve to go in after the boar, I could see a version of the story where he just still like kind of chickens out, and kind of
Hmm.
goes home, maybe makes something up. It feels like he's never going to like really face the boar. And that makes you think what the meaning of the boar is. I mean, it's the thing that ravages the land, that kills innocent people, that eats crops. It's you could look at this whole thing as like it's an analogy for, it could be an analogy for like a single human being or a state, like being ravaged by something evil, something like a disease. What do you think that kind of thing could be?
The boar?
Hmm. If it's like a manifestation of some kind of rot or some kind of disease at the heart of a human being or or a society.
Mm. Well, I was thinking more of the heart of a person, uh,
Yeah.
because there's always the temptation to do bad or evil because it's easier and more convenient sometimes.
But then what does the
Um,
boar mean exactly in this case?
but what well, I think, yeah, like the inner temptation to be that way.
To be destructive.
Yeah.
I thought maybe it might mean something more specifically. I mean, because it specifically destroys the food, like it ravages the crops, and it also kills people. So it kills presumably innocent people, that parts of the society that people your society that would otherwise make it vibrant and balanced with the different roles that they play, with the different things that they do. And then it
Mhm.
retreats into the dark wood that everybody is afraid to go to. And only when, like, a hero who is called, and only when there is, great reward to marry the daughter of the king, a hero goes and gets a magical help from a magical
Mhm.
being, gets some kind of talisman or the black spear in this case, and then they kill it. That's like the
Mhm.
whole like hero's journey kind of thing.
Mhm.
Or a lot of it.
Mhm.
But I
Um,
wondered more specifically about the evil of the boar, if it's something
well, maybe it's greed because divorce seems to seek control over everything, like food, animals, and people.
in that way. It's like a
But
dragon ravaging the
yeah,
land.
yeah. So I think it may be greed if you want to get more specific, and that greed is what the elder brother seemed to be falling into because he wanted maybe the recognition or the glory and the princess. But meanwhile, the younger brother wasn't doing it out of greed or personal gain. He was doing it for the opposite, to help the entire society be able to continue on.
Yeah. And that's what seems to make this story specifically Christian. It seems to be different than like even medieval stories where like the knight still wants glory, still there's still the warrior culture. This brother is not like that, you know. Yeah, he's brave, but he's more trying to, yeah, do his duty to help. It's interesting that it kind of, I mean, is he so innocent that he doesn't really have any motive of like moving up in life or getting marrying the king's daughter in some way or gaining glory or honor. I mean, he has none of those kinds of emotions. I mean, most men do, right?
Mm. Well, maybe he wanted to, but it maybe wasn't his primary like motivation, but I'm not sure.
Do you feel like that's realistic? Like, are there many people like that? Like where you're threatened with high risk of death, maybe like much more uh risk of death than opportunity to live. Like are you
Mm.
really that motivated by kindness?
Mm. I don't know, like maybe not for most people, but maybe the younger brother was more of a Jesus-like figure in that way in the
Yeah.
story. So maybe someone to strive to, but probably very difficult for most
Yeah,
people.
yeah. He is kind of, yeah, simple and naive. Maybe he could, you could see how someone maybe could be really so simple and so naive. And also, like, the story seems to say that this ravaging that the boar has been doing has been going on for a long time. You know, and it seems almost like, yeah, there's no one left to try to take care of it, which I think also maybe has to do with the theme. But yeah, the fact there's only two brothers that try to go after it, even when the greatest reward, presumably in the land, is offered, seems to say something about the state of desperation that this society is in. Yeah, and even then, I mean, there's almost like a lesson, like be careful because even then, in that state, with how desperate things are, and uh, and how good you did, even then, like your brother could still kill you. Like people still act out of jealousy or envy or greed. They still want what is. Yeah. One thing I thought though is that I wonder if the brother would really like, sorry, the older brother. I wonder if I kind of think the part of the reason he kills the younger brother is not because he had the overwhelming desire to have that, but because once it is the younger brother's, he wants it much more. That's sort of part of the emotion of envy. It's not only the thing in itself that someone else has, but it's also that they have it. It becomes more valuable,
Mhm.
and the fact that they have it in a zero sum way of thinking about things means I have less now by comparison.
Mhm.
Yeah, I just wanted to point that out. I don't know if that's part of the evil or part of just the psychology of it and the lesson that can be learned from
Mhm.
this. But
Yeah.
yeah, I guess some of the tragedy is just I keep coming back to how sad it is that the younger brother was killed and how if he had had wisdom to know to watch out for that, he should, you should know what the character of your family member is that you spend a lot of time with. You
Mm.
should love them and be nice to them, but you should know something about who they are. And then, yeah, especially, yeah, yeah, having such a contrast with them. Yeah, being so naive about other people in general, if just you've come back, you've just saved the land. I mean, I would hope that you would know that some people would be jealous of that, would be envious of that, and you know, might try to do something with that emotion. But anyway, yes, in the end, yeah, justice comes through supernatural means, as often happens in these stories. Well, do you have other thoughts about this?
Not so far.
Okay. Well, maybe we'll talk about it later, or it'll come up later in stories. But
Mm.
anyway, I still feel like there's more that can be understood about the nature of the boar, the nature of the structure of the story. But yeah, maybe we'll return to it later.